All right, so last thing that we left off was that we received the items that we bought, right? We purchased a counter and display shelves. Here it is. Here's the invoice number, right? We already plugged that in there, okay? And that's the last thing that we left off in our journal, okay? So here, this is where I highlighted, right? We have a couple more transactions left here. So let's go ahead and get started right here. So on June 7, okay, we have another purchase order for $304 for another furniture store, and this time we bought some tables and chairs. Or we requested to order tables and chairs. Okay? So, what do we do here?
Well, we buy the chairs, we pay, or we didn't pay.
This is a purchase order.
It's a purchase order, yes, that's what we have to do first.
Okay, so we're gonna go to purchase orders. Purchase orders. Okay. It is the 7th of June. Okay, and here for purchase order number 170304. Who did we buy from?
Furniture store.
Furniture store. What did we buy?
A table, 10 sets, one bistro table and 2 chairs.
Okay. So that's all we ordered. We didn't buy it yet. We didn't pay for it. We don't know what the full amount is because, right, we're just simply ordering it. We could be charged.
Total cost is $6,055, no?
Yes, but that's just the quoted amount because we're just simply purchase ordering, right? What if we have to pay for shipping when they deliver it to us? What if they have to charge us tax because we're just simply buying chairs from them? They have to charge us tax on it. So this is just a simple purchase order. Okay?
Yep.
So then...
Any amount estimate or... Supposed to write down estimate amount, no?
No, I don't
No?
think there's a spot for estimated amount. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess we do. Yes, sorry. For 6660.
55.50.
Good. Okay. Okay. So again, a purchase order is not a real transaction. All we do is just simply just doing an order. All right.
Yep.
So then what happened next?
Down payment check, right, for Harley Bros. Is it the $1,000? Oh no, was it from before, no? I don't know what we buy from her.
This is the same one. What happened here?
We buy down payment check, right, on the 6th is the wrong amount.
Okay, so what should we do here?
Reverse the purchase and do it again, no?
Is that what it says? That the correct amount is for $1,071. Okay.
They void the check 1506, so we have to void the check.
Okay.
Write another one for the amount.
So in this case, right, if I'm voiding a check, what's going to happen?
We go into the register to take it out. What we write in the checks. The register, no?
So check register, okay.
So I don't know.
So in this case, minus. Why? Okay, so in this case, can we minus a check in here?
No, but we have to void it, so we have to take it out from there. and put the new one because I don't know.
Okay, so how do we put in a new one?
But we write a new one.
Exactly, right? We literally have to write a new one because we already sent this amount out. So in this case, I needed to make sure that I do write a new check. Now, in this case, when I void a check, what happens?
You have to write it somewhere, but it's void.
Yes, but
Doesn't have any value.
right, correct. It becomes 0, right? So in this case, I just put void in my checklist, right? You can make it red if you want to, just so then you kind of know that this is a voided check.
Now, it's not better to write another check for the difference from the amount than to void a check.
Why? Well, in this case, should you write the difference amount? What if it was under? What if I wrote too much instead of over?
If it's too much, yes, but it's over the amount. I don't know. They always tell you not to void the checks most of the time if you can. If you're working for someone, if you try not to void the check, so you give the difference. So that's the reason I ask you.
Okay, so in real life business, that, it depends on what the business is. Would it make sense to just write another check out for the difference? Yes, you can. You can, but in this case, because this is a lesson that we learned in QuickBooks, right? What if we journalize something for the wrong amount? How do you correct this journal entry? So in this case, right, usually more than less, right? Let's say you wrote a bounce check, you should always, instead of doing anything further, you should write a brand new check for either the larger amount and then void the other check because you don't want the vendor to put in both checks into the checking account, then you double paid. Okay, so in most cases, it just depends on what the company is. Yes, you can write a second check for the difference, but once again, you can also void that check and just write a brand new one for the correct amount because there's a lot of things that we have to revise. We have to revise the purchase order. We have to revise the everything. Correct.
That's the reason it's better to give him the difference, and we can leave absolutely everything. It's just to write the new amount.
Okay, but in this case, right, I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to in this case, my company doesn't do that. Okay, I want to instead of issuing another check for the difference amount, my business says no. I rather void the whole thing because I have to go back into my books, recalculate it, and get the correct amount. I have to revise my purchase order, and then I should send out a new check. Okay, so in this case,
absolutely everything.
Yes, we had to revise everything. So in this case, right, what happens when I void a check?
It's still there, but it's 0. The amount is 0. It's no.
Yes, but in this case, right, in my journal, I took the money out.
Yes. But now what I don't understand if did we finish with the register or we still in the register?
The check register? Yeah, I'm done. I put void. So
you put void. So now we're going to the journal. We'll have to reverse what we did before.
Yes, because in this case, when you void a check, what happens? The money goes back into your bank, right?
It's supposed to go back inside your bank, yeah.
In this case, they never cashed it out. So when you void it, but in our books, we said that we spent it already.
Yes.
So how do I? Okay, so how am I going to put it back?
Checking. And I don't remember it was the counter and the display, or what we buy. So
in this case, we have a purchase order that we revised, right? The purchase order said that we had to make a down payment of 1/3 of the payment.
So it is prepaid account, no?
Prepaid accounts, yes.
Yeah, here we go. Zero down payment.
Okay. Now, for how much was the original prepaid was for?
1,140.22.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So then what should my description be?
So void a check and number. What we put it before, it was down payment for coffee brewer and grinder. Check 1506, purchase X. So we have to put everything again. Void a check.
You can write voided check. You can, in this case, I put to let me see what it says. To
Down payment.
correct Haley Bros entry on June 6th. Okay, so I guess to correct down payment for Haley Bros check number 1506 void.
Purchase 17033.
You could do that, but again, we should revise that so then you know exactly what happened here.
So now we pay or the new amount? Yeah, no?
Yes, so here we did the reverse, right? But we have to also complete, if we did something in the journal, what's next?
Yeah, we have to, the subsidiary journal, we have to fix it.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, I'm gonna go to my general ledger because I have to fix that account to let me know how much money I actually have in the bank before I cut a new check. Okay, so let's see. First thing I have is checking.
Yep. Now you're gonna debit this and
Mm-hmm. So 6-7.
so we didn't write the check yet.
Oh no, not yet because we're dealing. We have to we're reversing the transaction right now.
Oh, so we're writing the check 1506 on the debit side.
We're making sure that we void it. So I'm gonna put void check number 1506. Okay. And what journal am I on right now?
Page 2.
We're on 2. Okay. This time we're debiting our account by 1140 and 22 cents. So then, how much money should I actually have now in my bank account?
There's 11. Exactly, I don't know. 10 221.07 plus 1140. Actually, it's the amount that we have before. 361.29. Didn't pay attention.
That's fine. Good. Okay. We also need to undo our prepaid accounts, right?
Prepaid account. Yeah, we have a yeah. What the same? We have to put it. So void down payment, 1/3 in down payment from or check 1506. So we credit the account.
Okay, general journal number 2. And we're going to credit the account for 11
The account.
40 22.
So we're back to 54117.
Good.
And now you go to the subsidiary ledger.
Okay, good. We got to go to subsidiary ledger to fix that too. Okay, so here we are. Furniture store, so Haley Bros should be right underneath. Okay.
So we write the same, but we void and.
In this case, we don't need to undo it because at the end of the day, we didn't even owe them any money. So what you're going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and edit this information just to say that I voided the check, right? There's no purpose to undo it because it doesn't really reflect anything.
So you just add to the same information that you void the check and that's all?
Correct. Because in this case, right, even if I added that transaction back in there, what does it do?
Well, nothing because we have a 0.
Exactly. There's nothing really that we can do there. Okay, so good.
So that's all. We did it.
Yep, that's all, right? That's all to void and cancel that transaction. Okay? But now let's talk about how we can fix this transaction because the check was written out for the wrong amount. This time I need to recreate a new check and reissue it for the correct amount. And I do need to revise the PO to be a revision for this purchase order.
We how do you call that? The purchase order, we have to fix it.
Yes. So we're going to go to purchase orders and we're going to fix it. Okay, so in this case, right, since we actually don't have the actual purchase order form itself, I'm just going to go ahead and add an R so we know that we revised it because on the purchase order, right, it gives us your agreement of how much you're going to write out for the check. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and insert it right here, right, 303, and I'm going to put the letter R on there just so then it reflects that we revised it. But at the end of the day, we're not in control. We're not the one that's writing or creating these purchase orders. All we're responsible is just to keep track of it.
Yep.
Okay, so then there you go. My purchase order has been revised.
So now we go to the journal.
And we go to the journal. Okay, and what are we going to do there?
So we prepaid account and checking.
Good. We're going to reissue another down payment. So prepaid accounts. Okay. And checking.
For 1,178.87.
$71.87.
1171.87. Yeah.
117.87. Good. Right, and we're taking that amount from our checking account. And then now, what are you gonna write here?
So down payment, what we write on the other one, no down payment, check to Harley Bros.
1/3 down payment. Okay, for PO number 170303R for revised. Okay, and we wrote check number. Do we have a check number?
Well, we're gonna have it. Actually, right to 1507, but we have to
Yes, we have to go into our check register to get that number, right? So in this case, it is now the 7th.
7.
We wrote a check for 117187. Make sure you don't do typos, okay? And this, once again, is going to be Hallie Burrows. Okay.
Then later we have to match with the bank statement. So
Yeah, so 1507.
and the purchase order. What is it? Yep.
Okay, so good. Okay, so what's next?
The ledger.
We got to go to the ledger. And in this case, I'll let you go ahead and do it in this exact order. Right, so let me see.
Account.
Subsidiary ledger, right? We're in prepaid accounts already, right? Prepaid accounts. So we're going to type everything in here. That's the same as the transaction above it where we write 1/3 down. But this time, right, we need to make sure that it says purchase order 130303R. Okay? Okay? And then
Okay. So we have the debit one. It is 782604.
782604. Perfect. Okay? For the 1171.87. Okay? Not 78.87. Right. Then now that we updated our
Checking account.
we gotta update our checking account. Okay, here we are checking.
However, check 1507. Journal 2. Debit. This is good now. See. 113861 minus 1171. 10,189.42.
10,189.42. Good. Okay, so now what's next?
So the subsidiary ledger.
Yeah. We need to confirm that we made a second down payment for the corrected amount because in the first one, right, we wrote that we voided the check. So in this case, right, there's a new date going on because we have a new issue date, right? It's the 7th instead of the 6th. This case, you can write everything that's on here, right? 1/3 down payment. Okay, on coffee, brewer, and grinder. Okay. And let's see, you paid with check number 1507. Okay. This time it's PO number 170303R because it's revised. Okay. General Journal 2. Once again, since we didn't receive a bill yet, this is just a purchase order. The purchase order told me that I owed $1171.87 that goes towards the actual bill. So therefore, I did make a payment by paying with a check. All right, so therefore,
Mm-hmm.
if you remember this formula should give you 0 because we had the invoice amount and we paid it off with the full check.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
We have another invoice.
Okay. So then let's see. Okay, there we go. Let's see what happened next. So that was the reverse and re-entry method.
Mm-hmm.
So then next we have here is we received something from furniture store once again. And this time, what did we receive?
An invoice
For what?
for the desk.
Yes, we received an invoice for the desk set. Okay.
So we have to reverse the amount.
What do you mean by reverse the amount?
The check that we write them, actually we didn't pay anything, no, from this, no?
No, we didn't pay anything.
We didn't do anything with that? Yes, we did, no?
All we did was just receive a bill. Now, did I, if you keep on reading, did I make a payment to this bill?
No.
So therefore, I owe furniture store, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much money do I owe furniture store?
600, let me see, it is, no, this is the coffee. So, 1,543, no?
Let's see. No,
No,
this is
no, this is the display and the,
this is a completely new invoice. What is this invoice for?
it's for the desk.
Yes.
There you go. The desk set 658. But we have this amount. I don't. When did we buy that? The 6.
Well, we didn't. We didn't pay.
We didn't journalize that.
Okay, so yes. Why is that? Because we had a purchase order, right?
Mm-hmm.
We ordered it.
Yes.
So let's do that first so we can verify that we received something, right? Which purchase order did we actually receive a desk set for?
First one.
Very first one for $562.
Yeah.
Right? Plus we were taxed and there was shipping involved. So in this case, what was my invoice number here?
No shipping. It is 71.
Invoice number 71. Okay, for the very first invoice. So here, we're still waiting for our coffee brewer and grinder, and we just ordered tables and chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now that we received, right, we have a bill, we received the items, right, we got the desk. So what do we do here? Is there an account that we have?
For desk is supposed to be, no?
Yes, there is.
Yes, it is 13,030.
Desk
So we have
set.
The set.
13,030. Okay.
And did we pay you something or? No, we didn't pay yet.
No. How many days do we have for us to be able to pay?
15 net.
Yep, so we have
50.
15 days to pay it. So in this case, I'm not going to pay it now. I'm going to owe it on accounts payable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how much do I owe in grand total?
658.37.
Yes.
Desk set.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then what is going to be my information in regards to this transaction? What's my description going to be? Who did I receive a bill from?
From furniture store.
All right. What was the billing invoice number?
71.
Okay, and how many days do I have to
Net 15.
net 15? Okay, and that should be good enough. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we have 658 versus 37. Oh, we have a compare furniture. So we go to the ledger now.
We go to ledger now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to update that we bought a desk.
Mm-hmm.
So a desk is going to be considered an asset, right? It's a fixed asset, so we have to go all the way until we find if our desk set, which is under furniture. There you go, desk set.
That's it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We have a number of item if you want to put it. It is 205421.
It's up to you if you want to add that. It's not necessarily. That's just the store telling you that this is their item number.
Mm-hmm. So purchase of I don't know.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. Where you could put like it was what quoted for $526 plus 8 point for tax and shipping. You could do that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or in this case, it's already clear that we just purchased desk set with sales tax and $50 shipping.
Shipping $15.
Okay. Post reference.
Page 2.
Page 2. Okay. Debit of
658.37.
$658.37. Boom. Okay.
Then we go into account payable.
Accounts payable, which is a liability. Here we go at the top of the window here, liabilities. Okay, accounts payable for 6/7. Okay.
X.
Invoice number 71. Okay, because that you could pull up the invoice at any given time and know exactly what that is. General journal number 2 is our post reference. So here, do I owe more money or did I pay it off?
I owe the money.
You owe the money. So therefore, you're going to increase it using a credit of $658.37. So therefore, what is my total credit balance?
So we have 2770.30 less 658.37, 3,428.67.
Good. Okay, good.
Now we have the subsidiary journal that I think we write something there, no?
Because we received stuff from furniture store. So in this case, I'm going to go up here, right, to furniture store.
Oh, we have that. I know that the shelf and the counter.
Exactly, right. They're two separate bills, so therefore I'm going to put in that I received another bill. Okay, and this time, this is for the desk set. Okay, invoice number 71.
71. Page 2.
Page 2.
And 15 too.
So in this case, right, if I received the bill on the 7th, when is it due?
The 22nd.
23rd. Oh yeah, 22nd. Good.
22nd.
Good. 22nd. All right. And how much was my total amount that I owe?
658.37.
And in this case, right, did I make a payment to it?
Nope.
So therefore, I owe furniture store for invoice number 71, $658. Now, in this case, it gives you a grand total at the bottom saying that I owe in grand total to furniture store $2,428.67 in grand total. Okay.
But if this is because you're doing in Excel, if you're doing manual, you're not supposed to totalize anything until the end of the when you close. Or
Well, in this case, right, this is just my vendors. How much do I owe them?
Yeah, you want to know how much it's.
Yeah, so in this case, this isn't talking about accounts. We're not closing anything out. We're not doing any of that. But this is just so then I know how much I owe furniture store. Okay, because at first I owe them $2,000, but because I increased another $600, boom! Now I owe them $2,400.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So we don't know that. Yeah, we didn't write anything. Yep, that's all.
Yep, that's all. Okay. So now that we did that, let's see what else is next. Post and subsidiary ledger. And then now we have this last thing where it says start water and Las Vegas city services, okay, through NV Utilities. All right, so again, now we have water running and we have like the city utilities such as, garbage, trash, street cleaning, all that stuff, right? Those are all active now. So what do I do with this transaction?
I don't know. You say to create the trial balance.
Okay, that's after that transaction. So again, that means we are completely done with the first week of transaction because that's it. So now I am left to just complete the trial balance. Now, what is a trial balance? Well, go ahead and save your work now so then you can complete the trial balance with me. And I'm going to show you how to do a trial balance. And I want to do this every single week of Coffee Cafe. Now, what a trial balance does is it tests to see if your total debits equal your total credits. Because at the end of the day, right, we just did 2 whole pages of transactions. What if I made a typo somewhere here? What if my accounts don't add up? Then we'll be able to figure that out by doing a trial balance. Now, because I am at the end of this right here, what I like to do is I like to block this part off just so then I can let myself know that that I am going to prepare for a trial balance. So in this case, I'm going to fill this. I'm going to make it black. All right?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm just blocking it off so then I know that in this section right here, right, I'm going to be actually creating a trial balance. So I'm going to make a note here that this right here is going to be my trial balance for week 1.
Now, what's a trial balance?
What do you mean? What is a trial balance?
What is it? What's it doing with
It's to ensure the accuracy of your accounting, to make sure that you didn't make any mistakes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look because this is step 5 of the accounting cycle is to complete a trial balance, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, for a trial balance, all you would need is going to be your general ledger account. Now, again, your entire general ledger account gives you a list of every single account that exists in your chart of accounts, right? So what I'm essentially going to be doing is I'm going to be comparing and contrasting my accounts to see if my total debits match my total credits because I may have made a typo somewhere in my journal and made a typo somewhere in my ledger. And this is how I can prove that when I was transferring money from one account to another, right, that I properly did it correctly and that I didn't have any mistakes or imbalances. Exactly. So what I'm going to do here is, so what a trial balance is, it's a list of all the accounts that exist in your chart of your accounts with their account balances. Okay, and what you're doing is you're testing if your total debits match your credits, right? So in this case, let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to list out every single account that exists in my chart of accounts, right? And here's the thing here. I'm only going to list out accounts that actually have account balances. So for example, right, my main account bank, is there anything there?
No.
In this case, right, what does 0 in a debit or 0 in a credit do for my trial balance?
To balance.
Well, it doesn't do anything because it's 0, right?
It's 0.
What does 0 do? It adds nothing to my total debits and it adds nothing to my total credits. So in this case, a trial balance is only going to test you on accounts that have account balances. So for this example, right, the very first account I have here is checking. What is my current account balance in my checking account?
10,189.42.
Okay, and then I'm going to ask you another question here. What normal balance does it have? A debit or a credit?
Debit.
It has a debit balance of, what did you say? 10,189.42. And that's what you're going to be transferring over into from your ledger into your trial balance. And we're going to test to see if the equation that my debits equal my credits equal. And if they do, then we did accounting correctly. So, and then let's go ahead and see what the next account is. All right. So again, we haven't talked about the petty cash drawer or cash and register yet. We haven't even talked about accounts receivable yet. We haven't even opened up our company. So therefore, there's no allowance for doubtful accounts. We didn't talk about any business supplies yet. So again, no creamer, no sugar, no cups. Okay. Then the next account we have here is, let's creamer. Okay. Did we have any office supplies? In this case, we haven't had any yet. We haven't even bought inventory, right? Which consists our coffee. So we can skip along those accounts there because they all have 0 balances, right? So we have coffee, we have coffee mugs, okay? What about furniture? Now in this case, yes, we do, but let's take a look at this account balance. Do I actually have any account balance in there?
No.
It's 0. So in this case, you can add it, but what does it do to the trial balance?
Nothing.
Nothing, because it doesn't add to a debit or add to a credit. So in this case, I can go ahead and skip over it. Even though I did use it, there's no current account balance, okay? Now, tables and chairs. I ordered it, but did I receive it yet?
No.
No, not yet. So I can skip over that. So here's the next account that I actually have an account balance for, and that is my counter. Okay, so I did buy a counter. How much was that counter for?
1,193.22.
Okay, 1193.22. All right, on the debit side because it's a fixed asset, right? It increases my assets. Okay, next account I have is my desk set. Yeah. Okay. For a total of
658.37.
Good. Okay, and what's the next account that I have here?
The display.
Yes, I do. I have display shelves. Okay. Which is $577.08. Okay, so this is where you need to be very careful with typing because you could make a typo here transferring the information over. Okay. All right, so next category I have is office equipment. Yes, I did buy office equipment, right? Not in the main category, but down below, I bought a computer, right?
Yes.
And I also bought a printer, okay? So how much was my computer?
1,834.84.
Good, okay? How much was my printer?
378.87.
37887, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And looks like I also have a cash register.
Yep.
Okay. For how much?
649.
649.
649.
Okay. Okay, so do I have any equipment? All right. Yes, I do. I have my Very Coffee Brewer #1.
For 1,900.
For 1,900. Okay. Okay. I haven't bought my coffee grinder yet. It's still pending to ship to me. Okay. Let me see. Do I have any vehicles?
No.
Nope. I haven't bought anything yet. All right. So accumulated depreciation doesn't exist. What about prepaid accounts?
Prepaid account.
Yes, I have a bunch of prepaid accounts.
Prepaid account. For total 78260.04.
Okay, 782,604.
6.04.
Perfect. Okay. What about deposits? Yes, I do have some deposits. Okay, how much is my total deposits?
1,700.
1,700. Okay. My goodwill.
Yes. 2,100.
2,100. Okay. And then last but not least, miscellaneous expense.
We don't have anything there.
Nothing there, so no, we do not need to record it. Even though we did use the account, there's no account balance, so we don't need to do it. So therefore, there's all of my assets, okay? So therefore, I'm done with that whole entire section. So now I need to go to my liabilities, okay? Because I'm going to go through every single account that exists in my books. Now, in this case, I'll go ahead and give you a shortcut here that we only looked at 2 liabilities in this entire week, right? We looked at accounts payable and a notes payable. We haven't had a credit card. We don't have any employees. We haven't opened up our store yet to do sales tax, nor did we take out a loan yet. So in this case, first thing I have here is an accounts payable.
3,428.
Okay.
67.
Now, is this a debit or a credit?
A credit.
So we have to put it on the credit side this time, okay? So $3,428.76 or 67 cents.
67.
On the credit side, okay? What about my notes payable?
I don't know. What about them? 649.49.
Okay. Notes payable is $649.49. Okay. Again, that's all the liabilities that we incurred for this. So let's talk about equity now. Let's jump over to equity. We only have one thing in equity, right? We haven't any capital contributions, no owner's withdrawal, and no income summary. So in this case, what is my total owner's equity?
$30,000 on the credit.
Okay.
$2,000. Oh, I understand that.
Mm-hmm. So again, revenues, we haven't even opened our store yet, so we haven't sold anything yet, so we can skip that whole section. Cost of goods sold is directly related to inventory. We didn't sell inventory yet, so we can skip that, and we have operating expenses. So let's take a look at our operating expenses, right? Go through one of it at a time. Did we encounter any advertising expense?
Nope.
No. Any bank fees? Well, we haven't even received our bank statement yet, so no. What about business expense?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
We have 1,000 on the debit.
Mm-hmm. $1,000 on the debit side, okay? Did we have any freight expense? We didn't purchase any inventory, so nothing there. What about insurance expense?
Yes.
For how much?
195.86.
83. I have 83.
83, sorry.
Okay.
95.83.
Okay. Did we have any labor expense? Any subcontractor expense? Any temporary labor expense? None there. We do have a license and permit expense. Yes, we do, right? We had to buy a license.
For 375.
Okay. What about loss on disposal of asset?
Yes, we have a $2,000.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Office supplies expense. We haven't bought office supplies, so there's no expense there. We don't have any employees for payroll. Okay. We didn't sell any inventory or purchase any inventory, so no purchase expense there. Okay. And we have rent expense. Do we have rent expense? Yes, we do. For $1,500. Okay. And then last but not least, we didn't have any travel expenses, any utilities expenses, depreciation, bad debt, and amortization. We had none of that. So there you go. That's all the accounts that exist in our chart of accounts. So this is where we have to do the next step. Here is add up our totals. So in this case, this is where Excel will come into play here.
Manual is going to be too much.
Okay.
That's $30,000. Supposed to be 34.78. Yep.
34.78.16 on both ends. So therefore, yes, we did our counting correctly. So yay, we are completely done with week 1. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop